Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of the Fashion Edit. You're with me, Tamara. Our hair and makeup partner, the Beauty Quest Colombo, our new partner, Anthia. On this week's episode, we have an upcoming designer, Aakashya Perera. Stay tuned to Hi Online. Hi Aakashya, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
So tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Aakashya Perera and I'm 21. I am the owner of the brand ARKAE and I studied at Lyceum International School in Nugegoda in the commerce stream. And I would say I have a knack for creativity rather than studying day in and day out from a book. Therefore, I started my degree in fashion and textile design in 2018 at the Academy of Design, which is affiliated with Northumbria University, UK. And I graduated in 2021. My graduate collection was showcased at the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week runway, and that let us gain a lot of exposure as emerging designers.
Tell us about your brand.
So my brand ARKAE is feminine, playful and powerful. I think it embodies very fun, contemporary, quite edgy designs, and I would say caters to high-end streetwear and very print-based. I would say I'm a very print-based designer, and the brand as a whole has a lot of prints. I've experimented with sublimation to foil printing, and all of these prints are like hand assembled and digitally manipulated. Therefore, I take a very long time with my print process. That is my signature aesthetic as a designer. My graduate collection that went on the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week runway is a historically themed Korean collection. That was what its inspiration was, and therefore the silhouettes are an autumn-winter based collection where the silhouettes are not necessarily wearable in Sri Lanka per se. So going forward, I would like to cater to more spring-summer based collections and resort wear based collections that could be worn in Sri Lanka. And for example, the jacket that I'm currently wearing is from ARKAE. It's a cape jacket, and I've styled it with two completely different pieces. And this is the kind of styling that I would go forward with in the future for my brand. And the key takeaways would definitely be print and color. I like to experiment with a lot of different color and fabrics as well.
So when did you realize that you want to become a designer?
So I would say my initial spark to pursue fashion as a career started when I was young, when I started watching fashion TV, and then I saw Carly Kloss walking down the runway. I immediately started sketching what she was wearing, and then on I would carry that sketchbook to school throughout O-levels and A-levels. I would be sketching for a couple of my friends. And I definitely didn't want to study commerce day in and day out, and therefore I started, drawing and sketching. And after school finished, within the 3 months that I had between school and my degree, I started crocheting garments for myself, and it was definitely very fulfilling to have to crochet your own fabric and your own textile. Basically, to crochet your own textile and see it being made into something like a wearable piece. I think that's definitely where I started.
What is your biggest motivation to go forward?
Oh yeah, so it definitely helps that I come from an apparel background as well, with my parents being in the trade. We grew up seeing a lot of clothes, and I would say I started embroidery, and so my biggest motivation to go forward would definitely be seeing ideas and sketches and all the fabrics, all of those ideas turn into reality. That's definitely one huge motivational factor for a designer. Just seeing fashion as terms of expressing yourself, I think that's definitely one of the biggest motivational factors.
So what are you doing these days? Any new designs coming out?
So currently I'm working at AARKAE as a junior fashion designer in the women's wear range, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning different areas of the industry and learning how to construct and design a variety of clothes instead of being stuck to one style. So along with that, I don't really have a lot of time in my hands to be designing new collections, but in the months to come, I will probably design a capsule collection with certain key takeaways from my graduate collection, such as the prints. I think I would definitely take some certain fabrics that were waste fabrics from my collection and continue to design a capsule collection.
If you could be one international designer, who would it be and why?
If I had to be one designer, that would definitely be Johanna Ortiz. She has an aesthetic. The aura of her brand is something that I aspire to incorporate into my brand as well. Very playful, again very feminine and edgy, and a wide range of themed prints, which I am very familiar with working with. So I would definitely say Johanna Ortiz, and also the fact that she debuted her bridal wear collection and she has branched out into that area as well. That's something that I would see my brand doing in the future, branching out to different aspects of the trade.
In your opinion, who are the 5 most talented designers in Sri Lanka?
I would say Shahani, the owner of Mimosa. I'd say they have really made their place in the trade, especially with people our age and different age categories. With their plus and petite ranges, I think they've really made their place. The other designer would be Amesh Vijaysekara, who is an inspiration for all graduates of AOD. How he has brought so much of exposure to our country as well. As a nation, I think we should all be proud of Amesh, who has really gone very far in his stream. And the other designer would be Tharshana Vijayasinghe. I am in absolute awe with his prints. They are such an inspiration. As a print-based designer myself, his prints are just intricately crafted. Everything is something that he has created by hand. So it's not a print that you would ever see anywhere else. It's so uniquely created, and I think that's something that I also incorporate and that I also follow as a brand. The other designer would be, she's a designer from FMLK, she's Udami, and I think she has also established her aesthetic in the industry as well, and I think she has some amazing pieces. The last designer would be Indi Yapa from the House of Indi, and she has also created a wide range from couture to intricate designs that have gone in the Colombo Fashion Week runway as well. And designer is Indi Yapa from the House of Indi, and she has made a lot of designs on Colombo Fashion Week as well. And nationwide, she has gained a lot of publicity and really established herself in this trade. And her designs are, again, intricately designed, and a couple of couture pieces as well.
If you hadn't become a designer, which path would you choose?
So I'd say I would have definitely gone through the commerce stream. I was a bit of a nerd in school, and I managed to get good results for A-level, so I would definitely see myself working with something regarding business in the future.
So what are the changes you would like to see in this industry?
So I would have gone through the commerce stream. I was a bit of a nerd, during A-levels, so I got good results. I would have definitely gone through that and done something business related.
So what are the changes you would like to see in this industry?
So in this industry, I would definitely say I would like to see more inclusive designs, not just perspective, but even in general. When we have models walking down the runway, I would like to see a variety of different models walking down the runway, because international brands have already incorporated this culture, and it's high time that Sri Lankan designer brands and our fashion industry as a whole starts doing this. And I would definitely also say more sustainable designs coming up, which I'm also trying to do as a designer right now. So that is something as well.
How has the current situation in Sri Lanka affected the designers?
So for designers, I think one of the main consequences of the current situation is the fact that raw material prices have increased. From sourcing fabrics to everything is so expensive right now, and the prices of products itself have increased, and transporting things from one place to another, even if you do have the funds, there's a fuel shortage. So the wait in such a line is, time. It's a lot of time wasted, and time is money. So I would say that is one major factor. And apart from that, I would say that clothing, as much as we all would wear it, is not a need. Clothing is not a need. It's rather a want. And right now in Sri Lanka, there are people who would spend a lot on other things that are necessary rather than clothing. So I would say that is definitely a consequence.
Last question for you is, what is your message to young people out there who's willing to become a designer?
I would say, regardless of what people say, as cliche as this sounds sometimes, follow your dreams. Because no matter how someone comes and says, oh, you got good results from commerce, you graduated with that and you're doing fashion, it doesn't matter. At any point of time, if you want to change into doing fashion, then go ahead and do it. Because you'd rather do something you love day in and day out rather than be stuck with something you don't necessarily enjoy. And always to the designers who are already the people who have followed their dreams already, I would say, when things get stressful and when things get tough in this industry, always remember why you started. Relive that spark, the passion that drove you towards choosing such a career, and always remind yourself that you're doing something that you love day in and day out, and there's nothing else that you'd rather do.